परम सत्कार जो गुरु साढ़े सात जी वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। एक आदमी डॉक्टर को गया तो डॉक्टर को कहता है मैनू स्वास्थ्य दे दो। The man went to a doctor and said, give me health. डॉक्टर कहता है मैं तुहानू स्वास्थ्य नहीं दे सकता। हालांकि डॉक्टर का जिहड़ा पेशा है, the work of a doctor is to give you health. But he said, I can't give you health directly. Health is the understanding of ailments, and if you are able to eradicate the ailments, स्वास्थ्य बीमारियां दा ना होना मैं ते जे तुसी बीमारियां नू समझ लवो, बीमारी दूर हो जाए ते ऑटोमेटिकली जो बचदा है वो है स्वास्थ्य। बिल्कुल इसी तरह ही today we are going to talk about happiness, pursuit of happiness. It's something that each and every person longs for, each and every person wants कि मैनू जिंदगी दे विच सुख मिल जाए। पर सुख की गल करन तो पहला सुख की नहीं हुंदा उसको समझना बड़ा जरूरी है। कुछ पंक्तियां सुख ना होने दे बारे तुहाडे नाल गल कर जो गुरबाणी सानू सेध दिंदी है। What Guru Sahib talks about what is not happiness, and there are three verses, three lines that explain this so beautifully. Guru Padshah says, Sukh nahi bahute dhan khan. First point is, happiness is not in accumulating lots of wealth. Wealth is important. Money is important. धन दा होना, पैसे दा होना जरूरी है. Let's not fool ourselves into thinking that money is not important. But watch the words, he uses them very, very carefully. He says, Sukh nahi bahute dhan khan. Accumulation of a lot. बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा ता मैं सुखी होवांगा या मैं सुखी होवांगी। And always it is in comparison to other people. कि उन्हां दे कोल बड़ा धन है, मैनू लगदा है कि मेरे कोल घट है, क्योंकि एक कंपैरिजन हमेशा दूसरे नू देख के होंदी है। So Guru Sahib says, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ कि मेरी जिंदगी दे विच सुख नहीं है, उदों सुख होएगा जदों मेरे कोल उन्ना ही धन होएगा जिन्ना दूजियां कोल है। If I have as much as they do, I will have a lot of luxuries and hence I will be very happy. There will be happiness in my life. No doubt, we are very acquainted with the kind of things that we are used to. साडी जिंदगी दे विच जो कुछ हैगा सानू लगदा है कि ये हाली हैप्पीनेस नहीं है, पर तुसी मन्नोगे जे ये सारा कुछ साडे कोलों ले लिता जाए दुख होएगा। और छोटियां छोटियां चीज़ां ने जिंदगी दे विच जिहड़ियां हैगियां ने साडे कोल, पर सानू उन्हां दी रियलाइजेशन नहीं होंदी। जिवें किसी कोल मकान है, जे तुसी कहो ये मकान तुहाडी सोर्स ऑफ हैप्पीनेस है, सानू लगेगा इहदे विच किहड़ी वड्डी गल है, एवरीबडी हैज। But actually not everybody has, and the point that I want to share with you is that quotient of happiness, which is here, this is how we feel happy, it has always been there. People have always been happy despite the fact that they did not have what we all have. I'll give you an example. We all are living in houses where most probably all of us have our own bedrooms. ਅਸੀਂ ਐਸੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਏ ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਕਮਰੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਕਮਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦਿਆਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਇਹ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਕਰੀਬ 40-50 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਲੋਕ ਐਸੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਸਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਨ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲ ਕਮਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ। ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੂਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਵਾਂਗਾ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਸਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਂ ਪਤੁਲੇਕ। One of the earliest settlements in Bangkok was Patulaya. If you remember that place, दो साइड से घर ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਨ ਔਰ ਮਾਂ ਜੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਘਰ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਇੱਕ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 13 ਜੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਨ। There were 13 people living in one small house. No individual bedrooms, and the worst thing that I can't ever imagine is they had one bathroom. 13 people had one toilet. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਬੜੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦ੍ਰਿਸ਼ ਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਚੇਤੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਘਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਨ, ਰਾਈਟ। 13 ਜੀ ਜਾਂ 7 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 8 ਜੀ, they used to have one toilet. ਵਾਰੀ ਬੱਜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, 2-2 ਮਿੰਟ ਹਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ। ਕਮ ਔਨ ਯੂਜ਼ ਇਟ ਫਾਸਟ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਸਕੂਲ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ। One kitchen. One Bebeji used to take care of the food of all the 13 people. Can you imagine? No help. Maids nahi san hundiyan. Ya hongiyan vi te aapas de vich apna kam ਸਮੇਟਦੇ ਸਨ। ਅੱਜ ਜੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਮੇਜਿਨ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ। I remember being in one country about 2 years ago. ਉੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੈਲੇਸ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ 1800 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੈਲੇਸ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ, ਵੈਨੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਪੈਲੇਸ। ਉਹਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੈਲੇਸ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਮਰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਵਾ ਨਿਕਲਦੀ ਹੈ that palace was able to get cool air. And one of the people who was with us said, can you imagine today we don't have to think of making houses where this kind of cool air can come in. ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਐਕਨ ਔਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਠੰਡੀ ਹਵਾ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ 1800 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੱਖੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਝੜਨੇ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਸਨ, ਐਕਨਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਨ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ। ਲੋਕੀ ਖੁਸ਼ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਸਨ। ਮੈਂ ਮਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੇਡਾਂ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਸੋ? What kind of games did you enjoy? You did not have any mobile phones. People never had mobile phones. Can you imagine life without mobile phones? How many of you remember pagers? A lot of youngsters, you mustn't have seen any pagers in your life. Have you ever seen? We used to live with pagers. And when I'm sharing this with you, I'm not saying we were very great people because we were, living that kind of sacrificing life and you guys have no idea what life is actually about. No, I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to share is, despite the fact that all these luxuries were not there once upon a time, people were still happy. We used to have pagers. When somebody called, we used to rush and find a phone booth to be able to call them back. That's why Superman doesn't exist anymore, because there are no phone booths anymore. He doesn't know where to change his costume. No, actually we used to have phone booths in the entire city. You don't see a single phone booth now, right? The first phone, anybody remembers the first phone you bought? That Motorola big ones, the hand carry ones, maybe. You know how many calls we could make? It used to remind you 3 dial calls, 1 missed call, or maybe 10 dial calls and 5 missed calls. That's it. There were no games, there was no WhatsApp. Ooh, imagine there is no WhatsApp on your phones today. We would probably become depressed, thinking this is being taken away from us. But people did not have all these things I'm talking about, and yet they were happy. So when I asked mom, what kind of games did you play when you were young? She says, सारियां सहेलियां एक कोई महल्ले विच, they would shout out, house number 13. Everybody used to run and touch the house. That was their game. Can you imagine? We don't have that kind of thing. We have a lot of things to be thankful for, but if we think, if I have a lot, I will be happier, I want us to think again. Sukh nahi बहुत है धन खाटे, बहुत ज्यादा धन हो जाएगा ते मैं सुखी होवांगा, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है. If I have lots of money, if I'm able to make a lot, I will probably have more than the other, and that is the only thing that hurts us in our sight, because we're comparing ourselves with other people. Sukh nahi pekhe nirt nate. He says happiness is not in being entertained. Nirt nate means drama dekhne. आज दे समय दे विच movies होणगियां. Has it ever happened to you? Sometimes I come back home, I switch on Netflix, I scroll through it, and I can't find a single movie that I like. So sometimes it's like, I've watched this before, this is not my kind. And then you go to Amazon Prime, and then you go to YouTube. There are, I think, 1 million movies on these platforms, and yet after scrolling for about 10 to 15 minutes, I switch it off and pick up a book to read. Because all this is available to us, and yet we are not entertained. We sometimes think, as we सोचते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, मेरा मन शायद entertained हो जाए. मन कभी entertained नहीं होता. Mind is such an entity inside us. It just needs. Do you know when Pepsi wanted to make a comeback to India, the slogan that they used to be able to attract all people, but it had a lot of reality inside that slogan, was "Ye dil mange more." And it just simply said, the mind is something that wants more and more. It just doesn't let you rest, because it can see a very simple thing and it says, I am unhappy because something is missing. कभी भी पूरा नहीं पैदा. चलो आज दा एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. शायद ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ भी मेरे ਨਾਲ भी ਹੁੰਦਾ है. I'm coming to Gurduara Sahib, I open my closet and there are shirts lying in front of me, and I feel, I'm looking at them and thinking, I don't have anything to wear. The closet is full of shirts, and yet my mind is saying, आज की पाँव मेरे को तो कोई कमीज ही नहीं हैगी. Actually, पैना नाल भी हुंदा होना है जी. और मैनू इंज लगदा है कि एक कमीज जिहड़ी है ए मैं पिछली वारी पाई सी. Actually, it's not that I don't have any shirts to wear. I don't have a new shirt to wear. Right? And also I feel that all the people who are sitting here, they have a diary with them, in which they have noted down what I wore last time. Loki ane vele ne, they have nothing else to do. They have a diary with them, and in which they write down कि इस बंदे ने पिछली बारी केड़ी कमीज पाई सी. And if I repeat my shirt, they will take out the diary and ask me, Davinder Singh, You're wearing the same shirt again? Oh, खानदान के नक नू वड़ा के रख देता, तुसी same shirt पा देती. So happens to a lot of ladies also. You go to a party, you go to a function, you go to any important event, you feel as if all the people have a diary with them ਜਿਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਨੋਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸੂਟ ਪਾਇਆ ਸੀ. Ironically, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਦੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. We never have this kind of thought about the other person. Am I right? We never look at the other person and feel this about them, but we feel that they are judging us. Sukh nahi pekhe nirt nate. If you think your mind can be entertained because you have a lot, we have missed the first stanza of Japji Sahib. Pukhya ਭੁੱਖ ਨਾ ਉਤਰੈ ਜੇ ਬੰਨਾ ਪੁਰੀਆਂ ਭਾਰ. If I am able to accumulate the wealth equivalent to loads of mountains, even then ਮੇਰੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਟ ਸਕਦੀ. ਇਹ ਭੁੱਖ ਦਾ ਮਿਟਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੈਪੀਨੈਸ ਹੈ. ਭੁੱਖਿਆ ਭੁੱਖ ਨਾ ਉਤਰੈ ਜੇ ਬੰਨਾ ਪੁਰੀਆਂ ਭਾਰ. And Guru Sahib says, Sukh nahi pekhe nirt nate. Then he says, Sukh nahi bahut desh kamaye. मैं जे सारियां देशां उत्ते राज कर लवां. Okay, forget about people will say, how can I conquer any countries? But nowadays something different happens. We don't conquer countries, we travel. And it happens a lot because we look at Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. There are people who are sending new photographs of them going to different countries. You look at that and you say, I am unhappy because I haven't been to this country. Right? मेरी वो सहेली हर साल जाती है सैर वास्ते. कश्मीर भी हो गई है, अमेरिका, यूरोप, सारी थावां ते घूम आई है. मैं कल्ली रह गया, मैं कल्ला रह गया. बस मेरी हुण खुशी दा दारोमदार इत्थे है जब तक मैं पूरी दुनिया ना घूम लवां. If I am not able to travel the entire world, I will not be happy. Happiness has nothing to do with how much you can travel. Happiness has to do with how much we are able to settle down. Just before I came up on the stage, Manyo Gragiji was singing a shabad, very important shabad in life. He said, Guru Sahib says, हर का बिलोवना बिलोवो मेरे भाई, सहज बिलोवो जैसे तप ना जाए. Life is like a blender, a churner. In that you have put yogurt inside and you need to take out the makhan. But the thing is, if you do not churn it at all, the butter will not come out. If you churn it too vigorously, it will all spill out. And the balance in life is important. हर का बिलोवना बिलोवो मेरे भाई, सहज बिलोवो. Do it at such a speed that there is butter that comes out of it, doesn't spill out. You get the essence of life. So learn how to find the balance. And he says, Sukh nahi bahut desh kamaye, sarv sukha. Now he gives the answer. Sarv sukha har har gun gaye. The biggest happiness in this world is to be able to be one with the Lord, जिसनु गुरु साहब कहते ने ये हरि है. हरि दे बड़े अर्थ होंदे ने. हरि दा अर्थ हुंदा है हरण वाला, जिसने मैनू मेरे तो मेरी ईगो तो हार लिया, वो भी हरि है. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਸਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਹਰੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਰ ਪਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਹਰੀ ਹੈ। The one that resides in each and every moment, each and every person, each and every experience of life, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਹਰੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। He says, be one with that Hari is being happy। ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਭਦੇ ਪਏ ਆ ਉਸ ਹੈਪੀਨੈਸ ਨੂੰ, ਉਸ ਸਕੂਨ ਨੂੰ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਲੱਭਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਲੱਭਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ। We need to see the things which are present in life to be able to value what is there. There was a man who was very, very unhappy, always anxious and depressed, saddened by everything that happened in his life. So he went to a lot of people and asked them, give me a moment of happiness. एक पल दे दे, सुकून दा, सुख दा, खुशी दा, एक पल दे दे। And each and every person, each and every holy man would either give him some kind of a mantra, some kind of a way out, ए खाना बंद कर दे, ओ खाना बंद कर दे, तैनू खुशी मिल जाएगी, but it never came। बड़ी धन दौलत से हो देखो, he had lots of money। Somebody suggested to him, there is a village, उत्थे एक holy man हैगा, उहदे कोल चला जा, धन दौलत लेके जाईं, उहदे अगे रख देवीं, and after that he will give you that moment of happiness that you are asking for। That man went, the village had no roads, पक्कियां सड़कां नहीं सन, अपनी थैली जिहदे विच उहने अपने जेवर ज़वारात पैसे रखे हुए सन सारे लैके गया। He walked, he reached there, उत्थे एक बंदा मेडिटेशन दे विच बैठा होया सी, and he put that money there, bowed his head and said, Maharaj ji, give me a moment of happiness। And he bowed there, matha टेकिया क्या मैनू खुशी दा पल दे दियो। While he was bowed down, that man opened his eyes, took the thella and ran। For a while this guy got flabbergasted, what the hell is going on? He is a chor, itne mere paise leke naksda pe hai। So he ran after him, and this guy was acquainted with the streets of the whole village। Unnu bada dudaya, he made him run through the entire village। After running around the whole village, this guy never ran in his life, he had a go-gurt, you know, he was panting, he was sweating like anything। After running the entire village, he came back to the same point। The sadhu put the bag of money there and went to hide behind the tree। This man came running, got onto that and said, hey shukr hai, hey Paramatma, मैं लुटन तो बच गया। This guy was there to loot me, plunder me। आज मेरे वर्गा सुखी बंदा कोई नहीं है। That man came out of behind the tree and said, सुख मिले, found happiness। कहता हाँ महाराज, कहता तेरे कोल सी, you had it with you। But people never understand what they have। It happened to me a few years ago when I was watching one movie, and in that movie a man acted as a blind person। For 24 hours, I told myself, I need to realize, so I binded myself। You remember? I bound myself with a piece of cloth, broke a lot of pande in my house in those 24 hours because I was bumping around everywhere। My mom was shouting on top of her lungs, what experiment are you doing? But I wanted to experience the value of eyes। 24 hours। उसके बाद मैं भूल गया वहाँ, पर आज भी मैं तुहानू याद दिला दिया, इन्हां दी कोई कीमत नहीं है। You are billionaires because if they are gone, you will not be able to buy them anywhere in the market। So if you think you don't have money, you do। It's the realization of what you have, right? Sarab sukha har har gun gaye. E hari de gun gana. Whatever you have, that is finding happiness. So let's recap. I have only 15 minutes left. Let's do a small recap. First, paradox of choice. When you have too many things, you have a lot of choices, you think you will be happier. No. Paradox of choice is when you have a lot of choice, you're not happier. You just have choice. The choice becomes more, but happiness, no. Because I remember sharing with you again nostalgia today. I'm coming to, I don't know why the old times are coming back. You wouldn't believe it, when we were in school, and again I'm not saying because very great people, no. When we were in school, we used to have one television, 14 inches black and white television. On that television, on Wednesday, they used to show Chitrahar. Anybody remembers? Chitrahar was the greatest thing for kids because they used to show Hindi songs for half an hour. And on Sunday, 2 hours movie on a black and white television. Everyone used to queue up just to watch that pathetic movie. Today, if it is coming on the television, you will switch it off because you have so much choice, Netflix and all that I explained to you. You wouldn't even watch that, but we used to queue up from far, watch, I did not I watched the movie today. Oh. Black and white television. Videos came much later, DVDs and CDs. Today you have no idea. Those things don't even exist anymore. We used to have a video recorder and now down does it. Tape jandi si, rewind hundi si. Oh. Happiness was still there. Huh? Happiness did not go away. They had it, we had it at that time. In school, the tastiest thing was bread and egg. 2 rupees. And when we didn't find anything else to eat, banana, condensed milk and roti. Oh, my friend is sitting here, he remembers that, he's smiling today. Today you have so many cuisines, and yet there are people who are going through depression. There are people who give me calls to talk about the problems that they have in life. But they are affluent people. They have a lot in life. Paradox of choice is, if you have a lot, it doesn't mean that you're happier. Point number 2, it's always your outlook. Always remember that. You want to change how you look at things? Please remember the lines of Jaji Sahib that say, Man jeeta jag jeet. You conquer your mind rather than conquering the entire world. Number 3, love in relationships. Harmony in relationships, that is happiness. And it is among us, it is among your family, it's among your loved ones, it's among your friends. Learn how to have good relationships. They matter a lot. One of the biggest studies, the longest study in psychology was done on people for 90 over years. They actually took records of children from different areas of society as they were growing up, and they kept their records for till they were old, 90 over years old. And then they tallied the records. Among these people, who were the ones that you can name as happiest people? Not the ones that had the most power, not the ones that had the most money, not the ones that were most popular. If popularity was a determinant factor of happiness, you wouldn't find all actors, any actors committing suicide. Right? But the ones that study said were the happiest were the people who had harmony in relationships. It's very important. Number 4, being in the moment is happiness. Learn how to be more mindful about everything you do. Our biggest problem is we are not here. We are not ever where we are. ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਵੀ ਕੀਤਾ, we have raised our children. Sorry, I apologize on behalf of all the parents to our children because we fed you food while watching videos. You are so used to getting entertained even while eating your food, which is the biggest blessing you're supposed to have. You're supposed to just eat your food. The first time somebody told me your problem of intestines can go away if you learn how to chew your food 32 times. I laughed at that person. I said, 32 times, are you crazy? How can I sit down and eat my food and bite everything for 32 times? He said, try doing it. It'll be a miracle for you. But to be able to do that, you have to really sit down and enjoy your food. Right? ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਖਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. We are always one step ahead. We are always thinking of the next moment what to do. Why? Because we are too much in a hurry. Mindfulness khatam ho gayi hai. Try being where you are and you will realize this is one of the biggest factors of happiness. Next, contemplate rather than compare. If you want to be happy in life, learn how to contemplate on the things you have rather than compare with other people and how much you have less. Everyone has got something missing. One of my favorite shares of Ghalib is, "Kabhi kisi ko mukammal jahan nahi milta, kahin zameen nahi milti, aasmaan nahi milta." Nobody has an entire world to themselves. कभी किसी ने नहीं मिला मुकम्मल जहान, कभी किसी ने नहीं मिला. Nobody has ever gotten it. कहीं जमीन नहीं मिलती, आसमान नहीं मिलता. Some lack the earth, some lack the skies. Something or the other is always lacking in somebody's life. So if you look at somebody who is very, very happy, you start feeling that maybe they're happy because of what they have. They have this, they have the happiest people are the ones who are able to be happy because that's how they look at life. There are so many people that I'm jealous of in my life. One of them is a lady in the market where I work. 40 degrees is the temperature in the afternoon. No fans. And this lovely lady, in the middle of the afternoon, she has just a chair and she's sleeping. उस सुत्ती हुंदी उन्हें वेख के गुस्सा चढ़दा है. ओ भाई इन्नी गर्मी दे विच तू सुत्ती किवें है? मैनू एयर कंडीशन दे विच भी राती नींद नहीं आंदी. मेरियां सोचां खत्म नहीं हुंदी. I'm not able to stop my thoughts and you are sleeping. How dare you? But she is a happier person because she can sleep. The day we are able to get a good sleep, soe achinta, जाग अचिंता, जहां कहां प्रभु तू वर्तनता. जेड़े घर दे विच तू आ जाए ना ते ओदियां दो गल्लां हुंदियां ने. ओ सौंदा भी अचिंत है, जागदा भी अचिंत है. उन्हें इस मोमेंट दे विच जीना सीख लिया. उन्हें कंपैरिजन नहीं कीते. हाउ मच द अदर पर्सन हैज इज नॉट माय प्रॉब्लम. And last but not the least is learn how to have eternal gratitude. Learn how to be thankful for what you have. Don't go for fake gratitude. Don't go for fake happiness. एक गल पिछे रह गई. बार बार ना मैं जागया होंदा लत सौ जाती है. Anyway, Fake happiness is, let's say I'm looking at you and you have a smile on your face. And what I do is, I engrave a smile on my face. It will be fake happiness. ऐना करना. ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸ਼ਕਲ ਤੇ ਮਸਤੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਹਾਂ, I look at your intoxicated face and I say, I need intoxication. ਉਹ fake happiness ਹੈ. Fake happiness ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਹੋ? ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਦੁੱਖ ਆਵੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਾਂ I need something to make me instantly happy. ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਸਹਾਰਾ ਲਵਾਂਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ. I think those are the things that give me happiness in that moment, whether it is alcohol, whether it is any kind of drug. Don't run away from your problems. Running away from your problems is not the solution. It's not happiness. एक आदमी कहता है, people drink to drown their sorrows. What they don't know is, sorrow knows how to swim. I repeat, people drink to drown their sorrows. What they don't know is, sorrow knows how to swim. Don't run away. Solve your problems. Tackle them. In fact, the one point that I want to make today before I go is, happiness is in the pain. We run away from it. The pain that you get while going for gym, at that moment it is painful. Am I right? Do you go to gym? You don't. You have to. You got such a good body. You should make it up. Huh, boy? But when you go right, when you carry the dumbbells, there will be pain. Am I right? In that moment. But happiness comes afterwards. So it's not instant gratification. It's eternal gratification. In that moment, a lot of people, when they have problems in life, even at home, they resolve to just they don't face the problem. They feel rather sweep everything under the carpet. Don't. Deal with it in a calm way. Learn how to face your problems. Don't be the pigeon that closes its eyes when it sees a cat coming. Learn how to face issues. Resolving. That's why we read, Dukh daru, Sukh rog paya, Jahan Sukh taam na hoi. Why did Guru Sahib say Dukh daru hai? Daru means medicine. It means when you have pain in life, please remember, it is a way for us to wake up and resolve our issues. That's why eternal gratitude is opposite of instant gratitude. Instant gratitude is, I am happy in the moment, that's it. Zindagi jis tarah bhi kisi di hegi hai, I don't care about it. That is not the right attitude. So if you can have that, then remember, not in accumulation of a lot, not in looking at how much other people have. Otherwise, this whole world is going through a very big paradigm. We're buying things with the money we don't have to impress the people that don't matter. You remember that, right? Used to share a lot with you on that. We buy things with the money we don't have to impress the people that don't matter. How ironical that is, right? You've got to be able to rise up to that and say, this is my life. Very short one. The day you realize this span of life we have, you will start making value out of it. You will say, I'm not going to waste it on trivial issues and trivial people. I will spend it wisely. Very short life. Like that will be gone one day. And there is no chance for you to turn back and say, hi, I wish I could have lived happily in those moments that I have been given. Sukh nahi baute tan khate, सुख नाही टेक है नित नाटे, सुख नाही बहु देश कमाए, सर्व सुखाम हर हर गुण. May we all be blessed with these simple, divine virtues that have been given to us by Gurbani Guru Sahib, and may we be able to value the moments that have been given, change our attitude, and live a happier life. Not in pursuit of happiness, but living in happiness. Thank you very much for listening. The apologies for mistakes. Why did you